There. No, that's not what I wanted. What in the world? Did somebody unplug it? Can you hear me? There we go. Okay, now it's working. What in the world? Okay, so starting over. What a crazy thing. Normally I do this on Friday, or I'm sorry, on Sundays, but Sunday's a holiday, so we're going to start it tonight. Just basically go over all the games that I have set up to cover that would be a lot of fun to spot tactics and all, and go over some things. And this game is a very basic one. It was played against a very beginner player, friend of mine, and it's mostly me just trying to teach her how to just develop and play good active moves. So we started off in this game was a Queen's Gambit accepted with D takes C4, and we take back, of course, developing our pieces and just kind of going into everything. Thank you. Yeah, the sound a second ago was messed up. The headset got screwed up. But so as you can see, we just developed. But the biggest mistake in her game, well, I won't say the biggest mistake, but one of her opening mistakes was moving this bishop twice. Because you'll notice she moved here and then moved it here, instead of just castling and then worrying about placing this one on maybe a more key active square. But I go ahead and I just expand in the middle. Now, obviously, she can't take. She's got two attackers. We've got two defenders. And the way I always look at it is, if there's two attackers and two defenders, the defender is always going to win. Whoever attacks is going to lose. A friend of mine would say it's whoever moves first. So in both senses, it would be correct. The attacker is typically the one moving first, so the attacker would be the one to lose. So she comes here and puts her piece on a more active square, pinning the knight to the queen so that if I move away, then she can take the queen. So I go ahead and I push up, and she took. I was kind of expecting her to just move the knight here, putting more pressure here, and also at the same time making it to where I can't go here anymore. Uh, so if knight goes here, obviously queen can't come here because I just a piece. Uh, but taking back is also a decent move. I went ahead and I took with check, and the reason why is obviously now you lose the knight, which was the whole point of me pushing up, especially with this here, because I knew that this really couldn't take. And of course, her being such a beginner player, she wasn't going to fully see that. And I told her afterwards that she was supposed to move the knight because of this threat. And I thought that she would see that, but she didn't. And so, of course, now we take and it's check again. And now I take with check again. And then I just go ahead and trade off the queens. So, got so much material for that one little pawn. I mean, you think about it, so they take a pawn, I take back, we take a knight, and I really expected them to just take, but I guess in a way it's not good because there's so many things that I can check here and just keep all the pressure, because then king goes here, then you've got this check, and I mean it just starts to get really really ugly, really 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 fast. In fact, if you look at it in this and this, once I go here, there's really not too many places for them to go to, and as you can see, it would just be a very quick checkmate with the queen. Um, So it's actually good that she didn't go that route and stayed with her pieces, and that's something that that you'll learn is wherever your pieces are, you want to keep your king around them for protection, and not just starting to go on a journey and journey alone. So as you can see, we just continued on, and then I took a pawn because I mean, why not? I'm up. Now I'm attacking it and defending it. I come down. I check, and this was actually a mistake by me because of the fact that I realized in this position that was just a really bad move. But she did not see the tactics. But this one has a very good tactical position in it. Uh, Obviously, this is a blunder because there's two pieces attacking it and only one defending it. Um, but so when she took, I said, okay, I can't take back. But and the whole thing, and the reason why it's a blunder is there's really not much I can do because if I take here, we've got rook takes, and I can't take back here because of this. So naturally, what did I do? I did it anyway, knowing that I saw all of this. I saw every bit of it, and I still did it anyway, going, oh, well, I can still attack, but I forgot that this is hanging, and of course, she did end up seeing it, which I was very proud of her for seeing. And so I developed. And when she came back over here, uh, I didn't really understand. I guess she thought I was trying to take this pawn, but the king is protecting it, so I'm not going to give up a knight for a pawn. And so I just I got my piece back. So now, even though I was down in material, or I think I evened it out. Let's see, one, two. Okay, so I was still up a piece, but now I'm just up another piece. And so she decided to start pushing these pawns. Um, and this was, again, another blunder. Um, but, I gave up two pieces for one. Yeah, I got the pawn, but uh, it just wasn't a very, very smart thing to do. And then once we traded off, I was actually happy because even if she took those pawns and tried to push, uh, what she was supposed to do, obviously, instead of trying to chase this pawn down, once she took here and I pushed here, she was supposed to go here, here, here. I could queen and try to come down and try to keep her around this pawn and bring my king over. But I mean, it was. I mean, as you can see, it's clearly a losing position with white just no winning. And even if I do this and she pushes down or brings the king to where it can protect and push, I mean, which it can't, but let's say she went here, I mean, there's just all sorts of things, but the game was just a lost cause. But the whole thing was the tactic of me blundering completely back right here. This, knowing that this is just a free piece, and that once I take, even if they, they could take, I take, and then they take here, and it's all even now. So it was pretty crazy, but yeah, it ended up. I think it ended up working out a little bit in my favor with her taking like she was supposed to, and me taking here, and then taking here, and but yeah, it was not supposed to go as well as it did, uh, and it was really just Black's um, misunderstanding of the position and how bad it was for White. But that was the first game, and moving right along, we had the next game with me playing against this gentleman or lady, I'm not sure which. And we started off with I ended up playing an Englund Gambit, and I'm not sure how many are familiar with some of the more modern lines of the England, but it's pretty much this, and then you try to play this with this so that they take here and here, and then you can take here, forcing the king to take, and then queen takes queen. So that's kind of the whole idea of it, but I don't really remember if this one played out quite that way. And as you can see, it did not. He understood that you have to play the knight here to defend the queen so that it doesn't work. And he came straight on with this, trying to pin. And after that, I just moved up. I'm like, okay, I'm not pinned anymore. Do what you want. And so, I pushed this, wanting to push up. At some point, I was thinking about pushing, but I really just wanted to develop my pieces. And as you can see, now I'm just attacking this, and uh, this was a really wasn't really a wasted move. No, I mean he could have moved here, but he really wanted to, I guess, focus on this pawn. And why I pushed this up instead of just taking first, I'll never understand. But went ahead and took there. He took back. I went here, and the reason why I went here was I was thinking, maybe I could try to win the night at some point, but I just continued on and fell all the way back because this pawn move, I didn't want to go here, let the knight take, um, and also have some ideas of maybe taking here, um, but now I went ahead and I took this knight because I didn't want it to be able to threaten this. And the main reason is the fact that obviously I can't push up because the bishop is covering the diagonal. And if I leave it here, then he can take it. And I don't want to give it up in that sense because I want to apply the pressure on this file. And at the same time, I can't go back one because this knight is covering it. And I want to be able to double up. So the best move for how I want to play this game, or at least this position, excuse me, I just went ahead and I traded. I said, let's just go ahead and let's trade it off. And now this knight hangs because if he takes, then he's going to lose the queen. But as you can see, we didn't take it. But this knight is literally hanging, and now he's got and he doesn't. Luckily, he can't go here because of this. So, but right now this knight is completely hanging, and now he moves it back. I should have, if I would have taken here. Uh, he wouldn't have been able to take that because obviously take, and then take, and now we're just happily up material. And that was what should have been played, but we missed it and ended up playing this first. He falls back, and then of course I push up here. He pushes down, locking the position up, and so as you can see, I'm just trying to figure out a way to open it up. But this is where the game got really crazy. So we've already seen one tactic in this game that was missed by us. But now we're actually going to see tactics that were actually not missed by us and were completely missed by him. So we take, and he takes back. We take, he takes, we take, knowing that he's only got one person on it, and we can take back. But he got focused on the free queen. And I will admit that when I played this game and I let him take the queen, I literally went, oh shit. But then, and so I sat there and I was like, damn, I just blundered a queen. But I sat there and I looked at the position and I said, no, I didn't actually blunder the queen. He blundered by taking the queen because of the fact that it is a forced mate in two, which I saw and played to perfection. But right here was the White's blunder because you can't take it. You know, it looks like you can take it. I mean, it is hanging, it is free, but it's what's known in the chess world as a poisonous piece because you take it, and if we turn on the engine, you'll see that black is actually winning here, and you'll see that it just goes completely winning for black because it's mate in two because you just blundered your queen. And what they were supposed to play here was taking here, and then we can take here, and then they can take with check, and we can go here. But and of course we can't take here because the knight is actually covering it. But we can come here and kind of threaten the knight. But and of course if he comes here, then we can just get a fork. I'm surprised that they're saying that the engine sets to save the knight, but I guess they have something else that they can do, lose a rook. But yeah, going back just a few short moves, we can see that it was just a complete blunder. Oh, we didn't go back far enough. It was just a complete blunder by them to take the queen, where they just got so focused on winning a queen. They're like, oh yeah, I'm winning the queen. I'm getting his queen off the board. He's going to resign. And he didn't even think to look at the position and realize that that was a complete blunder. And that's something that you'll learn in the chess world, that if you play a move that maybe you didn't see right away, like me, I did not see that this was a immediate check if he took the queen. So I wasn't. And so once he took, I was like, oh my god, I just blundered my queen. But if you look at games and you look for the counterplay and you look for the tactics that could possibly be there, then you probably didn't actually blunder your piece. You probably are going to come out on top. And as you can see in this one, we did actually come out on top. Yes, we blundered a queen per se, but the Botez Gambit was strong in this one, and it ended up winning us the game. Fools and Horses, that was his name. Interesting. Okay. So moving on to the third game. Uh, I'm completely flabbergasted by by A3 on move one. Uh, so okay, okay. So what is this, like a Polish? Oh, Anderson? I've never even heard of the Anderson opening, but it's probably completely dubious and probably not worth playing. So I pretty much just went with kind of a more standard, play in the center type of position, and I locked it down, locking this bishop in. So now the bishop is, for lack of a better word, just utterly useless in this position. And even though he's playing kind of like a, I don't want to say a crab because the crab I think is actually this and this on both sides. I think that's the crab opening, but with this, I was just kind of locking up the center. Wow, it's actually been played by some higher level players actually in the 2100, 2400 game range. Wow. Earlier this year, what in the world? Who the hell actually plays something like this? Um, anyway, back to back to the game. Um, but we hang on. But anyway, as you can see, I just completely closed off the background. Background. The yeah, I was in there reading a text. I saw the word background in it. Um, but I just closed off the bishop. Bishop has really no range, and the only real way to kind of remove it is, this or this, and even with a take, I'm just gonna take it back, and I mean, pawn is still gonna sit there. We might trade queens or something, but there's nothing that's really stopping it. And so this move, I don't really see the point of it. Doesn't really serve any real purpose. And so we just trade a pawn on the edge. Uh, Normally I wouldn't do it, but went ahead and took, and then just kind of, instead of him taking, it was really weird because he just I never really got a sense of what he was really trying to do. It was more him just making random moves, or to me, they seemed to be very random moves and didn't really serve a purpose in this game. And honestly, in chess, every move needs to be calculated. You need to, one of the rules of chess or guidelines to live by is move with a purpose. And this knight move had no purpose. And the reason I say that is you see that he started here and moved here. I develop, he goes back to attack me, and I just come down, and now he moves this one. So he moved this one twice for no real reason, just to maybe get something on this, but there was no real point to it. And so we just developed, and I moved this here, attacking this and looking to maybe come here. And um, I'm just keeping my options open, and I don't really understand why he took this, because I mean, clearly it's a blunder. And I mean, I obviously hung a piece here, but it ends up being a trade because after I take, or I'm sorry, after he takes, I take, and it ends up a trade. And he can get upon here, but then I can castle, and I mean, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I actually saw that in this game where I move here, he can take, but I can take, and it ends up just being a trade. But and if you look at the engine says it's completely, just about even. So neither side is really better or worse than the other one. But after a move like this, it's just completely losing because now I take, and now I'm defending this knight, so you can't take it. And so he goes there, basically just threatening this bishop. And me knowing that I'm a piece up, okay, so he comes here. I ended up going there, turn the engine back off. And he goes ahead and he castles. I go ahead and I come back here. He takes, I take back. Now, one thing you'll want to know is that when you're down material, you typically don't want to trade pieces down. So it's not clear to me as to why he was trying to trade his pieces off, but he was definitely trading off on that one. And if I take here, then he gets this pawn. I can't remember if I took it or not, but okay, so I didn't take, and then he ended up, moving this knight again back here. It was just completely random moves, and like I said, nothing really made sense with this guy as far as his moves and what he was doing. But I went ahead and I just took that, and then I just went ahead and took that because now this is hanging. I'm looking at this and it's pinned, so all I got to do is find a way to add another attacker to this, and it's pretty much game over. So he goes here, which doesn't really do a whole lot. But now I'm looking at moving away and just trying to get some discoveries on the queen. And this rook actually has a purpose now. The bishop has a purpose. I mean, there's just so much going on. But he pushed down, so I went here and went here attacking it again. But really, I was supposed to just take the pawn here. That was kind of the missed idea. Was once he went here, I was really supposed to go here with the check, and he can take and I can take, and then we figure he'll probably take the pawn and go here, and I don't know, maybe come up with the rook and start to get everything more involved in the game would be a good start. But instead, we went here. He went here, which actually was a really bad idea. But first, I pushed this, and the reason I say it's a bad idea is I was supposed to take here, which gets the fork on the queen and the rook, so I'm guaranteed to get a piece, and then whichever one takes back, I can take here, and it just gets ugly. But he went ahead and moved there. I went ahead and moved here. He pushed down, and then I just decided I was going to push up. And as you can see here now, it's just starting to be a bit winning. And if you look at this position right here, uh, it almost seems like black has a great move of but moving here, but and white ended up resigning, and really, um, I don't think it was that resignable. I mean, black is clearly winning. Nobody's going to see the mate in 15 with, but I initially looked at that, but I did realize that this was hanging, and so him moving here just hung this, which I would have taken and come here, and then I could have come here, and even if he gave it up and all, I mean, it was not going to go pleasantly for him. But this one was just a bunch of random moves by somebody, and uh, it's a clear game of why your moves have to be made with a purpose and not just making them seem so random. And as you can see, black is just taking strong control of the center. White is giving up the center, and it's not looking very good for white, whereas it does look pretty good for black. And for the next game that we shall go over. Okay, so this is known as the Benoni Gambit, as you'll see for black. and it was accepted. It's a very well-known opening. Has probably a lot of traps in it, and I probably need to learn it because I really don't know how to play against it very well. But it is a strong opening against the London opening. It's actually one of the few openings by Black that actually counters per se the London opening with the Benoni. Uh, they play this one. Typically, they usually play here and there and whatnot, but I went ahead and I just started to develop and just kind of get my pieces out on more active squares, and did allow him to take here as well as here. Not sure which one he took. Okay, so he took there. I took back and then castled. And knowing that he was looking for the early checkmate, we push up, kind of kill his whole idea. And this is where um, the tactics start to come alive. So we're going to turn off the engine because I don't want to spoil everything. But obviously, the first move is this, which is what I played. And I want you to take a minute and look at it and see how or I'm sorry, how white is winning material in this position. And if you said that the bishop here is hanging, you would be 100% correct. There's no way to defend this piece safely. My opponent did end up defending it, but and we're about to see why this piece is free. So after he moves away to defend it, we gladly took the free piece. Now you are probably looking at it saying, no, it's not free. The queen was still able to protect it. No, the queen was not able to protect it. And I take that back. It wasn't completely free because we do have to give up material, but it's simply bishop check. And once the king takes, then we take the queen. And now this rook is hanging. And uh, I did end up missing the fact that the rook was hanging. And I was really supposed to just take this and watch my opponent cry and resign. But we did end up missing that. And so I went ahead and I played this move and then just tried to get my pieces in the game. And he was trying to win my queen back. So kudos to my opponent for playing on and actually attempting to win the game, even though he is clearly down material. And and so we just like I said, just developed and uh, even here, I probably could have taken with check, and then gotten this. I probably could have actually gotten 3 pawns for it, which would have been more than sufficient for this knight, even though I would now be a piece down. I still have the queen on the board. I've still got 2 rooks, and if you do the count, he would have 1 pawn, 2 and 3 pawns versus 6 pawns in 3 pieces. So um, game would be much more open, which would help the bishop and the rooks here, but I don't know. Probably be a little bit better, but they're saying just retreat. I mean, obviously there's no real reason to give it up. You're not going to get too much out of it other than those 3 pawns, so it's really not that worthwhile. But you can see we just come here. He pushes down, and we go here. And the reason why I did not go here was it here? I'm trying to remember because I had already seen him being able to get the fork and win it, or maybe it was here or something. But I'd already seen where he could fork and get the queen. So I was trying to make sure that he definitely did not get the queen back. And so we just pushed up and starting to open up the position. And of course he goes here, but it's really not that big a deal because I can come here, attacking it, looking at gaining some things. So, and him actually pushing this was really nice because I wasn't exactly sure how he was going to defend the knight. And once he pushed the pawn, I realized, okay, that's how he defends it. He's going to get the bishop involved. The bishop is now doing something. It's now defending the knight that was hanging. The knight is actually on a really good square uh, for the fact that it's in my territory, but I can push up here and force him to the only move he has of here and just putting him on the rim and then just starting to really open up. But I went ahead and I took the free pawn and then I took here because, hey, why not? He takes back. And I went ahead and I took it with this, expecting this, knowing that I was going to take with check and probably get this pawn as well. And that would have been more than enough material for the rook. A knight and two pawns for a rook is the same value, so it would have been fine for me to do that trade. But he actually, for some reason, did not take. And so I went ahead and I took here, and then I just kind of checked him. And I knew that I couldn't take, although I came here going, okay, I can take, but I was like, oh yeah, the bishop, can't take. And so I was just looking for ways to finish the game, and just ended up finding the beautiful checkmate with this move. I think the other checkmate is probably this one as well. So it was basically two different checkmates. You had the checkmate there and the checkmate here, using this and this. Um, but but yeah, that one was a pretty interesting one. Then a game that was played by a friend of mine. Uh, I was going to do this last weekend, but my internet was so bad last weekend that I didn't get a chance to do these games like I wanted. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, I had a spider on my wall I was trying to kill real quick. But but I did want to go over it, and one of the reasons I wanted to go over this one was it actually had a really cool tactical idea, and in fact, he's actually got another game that I kind of want to that I might try to show in just a second. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's go. Where is my friend? There he is. I mean, he played this game pretty masterfully, but there was something in it that I saw. Let me see. Let's see. Orientation weight, yeah. But there was something in it that I saw the other day that when I looked at it, I was just seeing more than what he did. So I figured I'd go ahead and show it, uh, just because. And as you can see, he's a beginner. He has, I want to say, more understanding than maybe what his rating indicates, but sometimes he doesn't fully understand certain positions and structures and whatnot, and so that kind of gets him. But hopefully this will help shed some light on some things, and maybe I can go over some of my London prep. Well, not just my London prep, but just some understanding about some of the more principled positions to begin with, and we can kind of go over that. But one of the things that I learned early on, taught by a friend of mine who kind of coached me up a little bit and took me from the 600 player that I was 2 years ago to the roughly 1500-ish player that I am now, and just made me a hell of a good player in chess. But obviously, there's a lot more to learn, and I'm definitely trying to do that because I want to grow and I want to get better and really just be a really strong chess player and just have fun doing it. So as you can see, he was playing one of the openings I taught him, which is the London opening. Uh, but sometimes he doesn't fully understand position. So here, typically, if they go ahead and they play this bishop, sometimes before I develop this knight, sometimes I'll push up here and then play this so that if they take it, we take it back. And one of the things you'll learn in chess is typically to take is a mistake. You don't want to take a piece that your opponent has if it's going to allow them to develop a piece. If they are developing their pieces off of you trading a piece, then you don't necessarily want to do it unless you feel forced to do it, maybe for positional reasons or maybe there are tactical ideas behind it. Like maybe they have a knight in a place where you have to give up a rook or something to stop a fork, or them just winning a lot of material, or just putting you in an even worse position than what you might already be in. So I mean, there's times where you have to just bite the bullet, but for the most part, you typically don't want to. But I probably would have gone ahead and played here, and then maybe played here and here. Uh, but he went ahead and played there. I don't know why I am yawning. I'm really not tired. But he went ahead and played there, and then he played bishop e2. Again, it's a solid move. You could come here, but I don't like going here now because um, the queen is blocked off from protecting it, and you would have to use this pawn, and I wouldn't want to damage the structure. I would much rather keep the pawn structure intact with pushing here, but so he played this move, blocking the bishop in and locking it, and basically playing what I call, or what I would typically call, kind of like a copycat chess. And there are ways of punishing a copycat style, which I can show you in a little bit. One of the variations I love to play in the London against the copycat. And so he castles queenside, he's castled kingside. So basically, as my friend would put it, he's declaring war on white. When you castle opposite, then these pawns are all attackers and not defenders, whereas these are defending, and these become attackers versus these defending. Um, so that's why they say war, because the pawns opposite the kings are now just going to try to wreak havoc on the opposing king, whereas if the king was over here, then both sides of pawns are probably not going to move unless you're a grandmaster and understanding very, very, very high level tactical ideas. And this was a move I didn't like. Was he played this move? I personally would have just started storming. I would have gotten here, probably not right away here, but maybe here and then here and then here and here, and just really get these pawns rolling. Try to open up so that this rook gets here, the queen can come out, the bishop is already on a great diagonal. I mean, you're just really having a lot of scope, and plus, once you get this pawn here, the knight is going to end up moving somewhere. Once the knight moves, your knight hops here, and now you're attacking the queen here, and the only good spot is here and here. And even if either one of those spots is just you're really putting it, his pieces in bad positions to where they're just kind of running into each other and they're not having any real harmony. Um, but yeah, so that was one idea I saw was just starting to go ahead and storm. And I feel like this move was just a bit too slow. Uh, and instead of playing this one, I get the idea of why you played this one, but this one was the stronger move. Just play this one. Just try to open up on the A file because the A file has your rook behind it. Your queen will eventually come over. Everything is going to attack the king. And so, like I said, the attack was just a little too slow. Um, but that's just my personal opinion. Is that the attack was coming too slow? He brings the knight in here with lots of protection. And like I said, this all could have been achieved a lot sooner by just pushing here, 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 and then here. Uh, so again, he kind of achieved, I guess you could say the same thing. And after this move, it's really surprising that he moved the rook down to protect a pawn where he could have just freely taken. Now, again, like we said, typically you don't want to take um, if it's going to develop a piece, but I kind of feel, well, I shouldn't say I kind of, but I'll say in this position, Black is forced to do it, but he didn't. And the reason I say that is because now we're going to take here and we're going to open up. And now you're just in all sorts of bad ways. If we go here, there's, I mean, we're just immediately crashing Black's house. And if you look at the engine, it clearly tells you that even though we're not even up a piece, we're already up a piece and a pawn. But anyhow, going back, uh, as you can see, my friend did end up taking, and then he went ahead and went with this move. I don't necessarily know that I would have played that right away, and the reason for it is I think taking here first, or I'm sorry, pushing up first would have been much stronger. But it it ended up working out. He comes back with a check, and the guy took. And he did take the right way. And one thing that you'll learn is typically 99% of the time, your pawns always want to attack towards the middle. So you always want to attack inwards and not outwards. And this would be an inward attack. So knowing that he went there, and it really starts to set everything up in motion. He came here, and we went with check. And he went ahead and developed here, knowing that this pawn is protecting it as well as the queen. And he came down threatening this, but we wanted to move the queen anyway. So we go ahead and we move over. And he moved his queen over. And we go ahead and we triple up. We tripled up on the bubble up. Now, here is where Black actually made a critical mistake, and he played here. Now, my friend didn't immediately take. I would have taken here. I would have taken it with the pawn, and something that I saw from was that after this, I was actually already looking at sacrificing this so that if queen takes, we can take here, and they can't take, obviously you can't take back, but or did I say to sacrifice the, I think I said sacrifice the rook, and now we are just clearly winning. There's no real way to stop the mate. You have to take here, but then after, but actually you don't even have to take back because I think it's just a forced mate, yeah. And here we can actually just play here, forcing the queen here, and then we can take, and it's game over. So it was basically just a rook sacrifice, and you might even be able to get it where you take and then take here and do this, and let's if they take, it's already a really bad thing. And as you can see, if they do try to take it, then it's just completely losing. But even if they don't, you can already see that it's completely losing for black. And at a plus 15, you should not lose the game. Plus 15 is just such a huge advantage. But obviously, it's black, and if they push down, then they're now able to defend. But if I'm not mistaken, you can just play this, and you're just even though you're not really up anything, you're still just clearly winning. Then you can take here. But the thing you have to worry about is this, because now they are getting this because this is now hanging. So you can't really actually take a pawn. Because let's imagine you take here. Now you have to go here, and now you lose this with check. You got to go here, and now they can take back, and your position is actually now. Yeah, you can take, but it's still kind of ugly as white, and now you've given the advantage back to black, who now is actually potentially threatening mates if you're not careful. But like I said, back here, I was already envisioning just taking here and, maybe even getting like some sort of a positional sacrifice and, you know, uh, playing it uh, pretty crazily. But going back to what my friend actually played, he actually just took here, looking at this, and didn't see the fact that the opponent actually hung his rook, with just not that with pawn takes here. So of course the guy smartly trades off, but this was just a complete blunder because taken his mate. And I was gonna say I hope that was what my friend actually played. I couldn't remember, but yeah, that was just a mate because the rook is protecting it, so that's just a complete blunder. But like I said, I was just envisioning something completely different, and I told him what it was, but I'd have to actually pull up the chat between us as for what that one was. But then the game that I just saw of his the other day, I didn't actually watch it live, but I just happened to be on chess.com and saw that he had played a few games, and I just wanted to look at the last game he had played, and saw that he ended up being white and played a London, and this is a very bad opening for black. When you open up your king like this, uh, my friend didn't see it, but I saw it immediately. Just check. Go ahead and check. Force the king here, and then you can come back. But I forget what ended up happening. But he went ahead and fell back, which was actually fine. Going ahead and falling back is fine. The check is still there. And in fact, he actually developed this first, which I think was probably the better move versus the going ahead and checking right away, which also isn't a bad thing. And here I probably would have taken and let him take and then checked. And the reason for it is if he moves here, then we're going to go here with a check. And if he goes back, then we're going to, not there. We're going to go here with the check. If he tries to go back again, we're going to come here with a check, winning the queen. If he ends up playing the smart move and going here, then we're going to shoot. I guess we could check here, but after takes, we can take back with check. And then if he goes here, we can come here. If he's a smarter player, it actually goes here. Um, but I mean, there were so many things I was looking at. Um, but I'll have to let's see as it plays out. I'm trying to remember. Okay, so he developed the knight there. Yeah, so I think it was here that I was just saying go ahead and check, and but it might have been something like this first, and then the check. But I think it was check straight away. I think it was here check, and let him come here because if he goes here, we would come here, or no, we couldn't go there with the check because the knight takes. I think here we just take, and then now we can take here with check, and then it just starts to get really ugly because if he goes back, then we're going to come back. If he goes here, we go here, and if he goes here, oh, and if he goes here, then we just come probably here, and we just keep the king running because obviously he's not going to go here because we're going to check him with the queen. But his king is already out in the open. His pieces are not developed. We still need to develop ours, but ours are going to be a lot easier to develop. And obviously, our queen is hanging, but the moment he can't take is he's got to move out. And if he does something like this, then we can come here with a check. And now he's got to go here, and then we can come here. And I mean, it's just, it's just horrible for black. And if we turn on the engine, even here, going back here, you'll see that we're supposed to take first, take, and if he does take, then oh, they're saying to take here first. But I was already seeing this, but I guess coming up. But you can already see engine clearly says white is up so much, even though they're not even really up anything. But the position is just so much better for white than black because of this horrible pawn structure. Uh, and putting the knight here to develop it um, because you've given the knight no other place to go is just absolutely atrocious. But going forward in the game, uh, he ended up moving down, which uh, wasn't really a good move because you can't take because the bishop is defending it. So I don't really see the point in it. I think it was went back too far. I really think just leaving the knight here is fine, just because you're still winning it. Because even after this, you're trading pieces, you're winning a pawn at the end of the day. So, and now you're hitting the bishop. I'm sorry, not the bishop, the rook. So I mean, it's so much better for black to. I'm sorry, for white to just leave it here. Uh, but he ended up moving it back. Uh, and then of course here now he's attacking it, and he moved back. A lot of people don't understand that moving back here is typically a bad idea because you're keeping it on the edge of the board and you're trying to attack a piece that is never going to be attackable because of this. You'd have to win this first, and it's not an easy pawn to really win with the way everything is protecting. And the other reason why I didn't like this backward knight move from here to here is you're impeding the development of this piece from here to here because you've played this, so now it can't go here, and the only developing move it has is here on the edge, kind of like this sad piece here develops on the edge over here. Um, and knights on the rim are dim, so you never really want to put your knight on the edge of the board because it just kind of screws up the whole scope that the knight has. Knights are so much better in the middle of the board, not on the edge of the board. So you really just want to keep them where they are. But going forward, let's take a look at how this game unfolded, because he did check, and he did see that there was a check here and a potential win on this, but Black has two ways to defend it. They can push the pawn here, or they can move the knight here. Both of them do end up protecting the bishop. And he chose with the pawn. Again, not a bad idea. I probably would have developed the knight instead of the pawn, because now if you develop the knight, you're cutting off this bishop, and but at least you gave this a retreat square so that if this ever comes. But the thing is let's say he goes here. The only way to develop this is to push this, which then blocks this. So then we get this move, and now the bishop is trapped, and so the bishop here is really just a sad piece. It really needs to come back, just to avoid any shenanigans that white might actually be able to play, if black isn't too careful. So my friend, he went ahead and castled. It was a good idea. This was a great, I don't want to say a great move, but it was a great move. It attacks the queen and forces the queen to really have no point to be out here. And the best move is really to just come back home. Come back to where you came from and start anew. And exactly what my friend did. And after we trade a little bit, I would have personally checked. Actually, in this position, once he moved the knight here, now this is hanging. We just take it for free. And if he goes here or something to get the attack here, and looking at this, now we come back with a check. And after he moves, then we can take this piece for free too. And then we come here with a check. But chances are he's not going to go there. Maybe he'll go here to unleash the attack. And then we can come here. And if he plays something like this, we just go ahead and trade off. We can come here. And now all of our pieces are starting to kind of get in the game. So, but going forward, he went here. My friend ended up checking. Like I said, I would have just taken the free knight. He moved here, which now I just take it. And I'm actually surprised, but I will say that this pawn move was not a bad move, and the reason I say that is for the sheer fact that even though this one is hanging, this one is too. So imagine he castles, we can take, and if he takes here, then we can take here, and if he takes here, then we can just go ahead and trade off more and still be up a piece because we got it for free, per se, for a pawn. So it's still much better for us than it is for black, and it's definitely going to be a lot more fun to play than it is for black. And if we look at the engine says to go ahead and take it, and they're saying that even though that this is a good move, it's not the best move in the position because of the fact that he can't castle, and now we do end up taking. But as you can see, even if we do all of this, this is just I'm actually surprised that they're saying that this is a more even game than what it is, because I figured let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Being up a piece, I figured white would be better off, but the engine clearly says it's that it's a draw per se, but it's really only a draw if you're playing the best moves. And obviously, this is again, very low rated players, them finding the absolute best moves every move to make it a draw is probably not going to happen. Um, and even in Grandmaster games, somebody is going to end up playing for the win, if not both sides, versus trying to play for a draw. So chances are they're not going to go for a draw. Uh, Now, black might actually try to go for the draw, but white is probably going to play for the win. But again, it takes absolute understanding of positions to get that. And you have to play like best move to do it. So, but going forward, he played that. He ended up moving the knight back. So now this is just completely free. Uh, and again, sometimes if you don't understand a position and you just want to overly complicate it, um, and sometimes that's not a bad thing to do, to overly complicate a position and make your opponent figure out what the hell they want to do. Because, I mean, obviously, if it's super complicated, they got to try to waste their time to figure out how the position is supposed to be. But sometimes overly complicating it can also be a bad thing, and you try to complicate it, but there wasn't much of a need. And I don't know why he took it here when he could have just taken it with the pawn for free. But you know, getting the queen involved is fine because the rook hangs. So, but see, the whole thing is it hangs anyway because once you take it here and if he takes, this position is still there. It's the same exact position, and you didn't have to give up your bishop for it. Your bishop is still in the game, and you're still threatening a whole bunch of very bad things. Um, so going back and with this, he ended up blocking it with the queen, which wasn't the best of ideas because you know obviously we weren't really looking to trade queens. We were looking for more material and trying to find the quicker checkmate. And you know, unfortunately, he can't come here. Um, Now he can because he did develop this. So now he is looking to play rook to e1. This queen here did its job. It got the free rook. And to be honest, this was a really worthless move. A much better move would have been to move this. And the reason for it is now for for lack of a better explanation, the queen is now forced to be traded. You have to come here and force to trade. And so it's actually much, I don't want to say better for black, but the position becomes easier to play as black. Even though it's completely losing for black, it's easier to play because of the fact that you swapped off queens. Even though your structure is somewhat in shambles, you've got a backwards pawn here. This bishop is kind of sad with no real scope at the moment. All your other pieces are still communicating. They're still doing things in the game, and they're definitely having a decent time. But with that being said, going forward, let's see. He developed there, and then he pushed his pawn down. And after the rook slid over, the queen was supposed to move, but he didn't. He just went ahead and took the pawn, so we take, and after takes and check, we come here and force the mate in one. And that is, as they say, checkmate. Yeah. But yeah, I just felt like doing that for fun. But yeah, so there it is in a nutshell. Um, but I hope everybody enjoyed those explanations. In fact, I think on chess.com, I actually ended up playing a really funny a game the other day, and something I'm actually going to go over. It actually gives me an idea uh, because there's something I want to look at, and it's let me flip the board, or actually no, let me keep it here. Is to basically we're going to study a line of the Englund Gambit that I've been beating people with because it is a refutation of the Englund Gambit that I'm about to show. And the refutation of the England is typically when they play this, we go here and they play here. They're not really threatening this, but what they're really threatening is the check here. They're really threatening this. So typically, if you play this, then what they're going to do is the England Gambit is the check. You come here, and they're going to take here. So that's kind of the mainline idea, and obviously this is the best move with this, and then after this, the queen is starting to get forced everywhere, and you're really just um, kicking the queen around, and white has a little bit better position, but there's actually a better refutation for white, and it doesn't end up involving that. Although that is not a bad thing, but most people don't understand some of it. So we're actually going to show some pretty fun stuff. So typically I play this, and I let them take here. And once they do, then I'm going to play this move. And they typically go here, and we take back. And a lot of them try to play this, which, as you can see, just loses on the spot. And for some reason, they play this move, um, which we play here. And now we're just guaranteed to win material because if they go here, we're going here, and we're going to take here. And there's not much they can do about it. And I've actually seen it where they played this, but then we just come back here, and they can't take. And if they play this, then we can just go here. Although they're saying that that's a draw, but I guess because of this and this, this, this. Oh, because okay, I see. Because we have to give this up, and then they can just draw it out. Okay. So with that being said, if they do play something like that, we can actually go here, and once they take, we could take here, but they take. Oh, they're saying to just long castle, but the whole idea is, as you can see, it just gets really bad for them. Uh, Now, I have actually played this where, ooh, going back, they actually don't end up taking, and we end up taking, going here, attacking this. They come here, we go here, and then they played this move. And what I wanted to study was after this move, what does white have that can beat them? Because they've, in a sense, have somewhat neutralized white's attack. White is still a little bit better in the position, but not the +8 that we had when they made those really horrible ideas. Um, so if we go back a little bit, and we saw, like we said, we saw this, and then coming here, and then the bishop coming here, so that we get the double attack on this, and obviously the queen is still protecting the knight, so you can't just take it. So if they go here, then we are winning a piece. And like I said, I saw this, and I've actually had them play this move. So seeing that the engine says this, I always just go back here. But most of them don't see this move. And I'm going to be honest, I never even saw this move. And I never even saw that this is just winning for white. Oh, that's right. That forces the draw, where you have to long castle first, and then protect it, and then so even though white is completely winning here, it gives me a whole new understanding of the position because uh, typically humans, especially in the lower levels, are not going to see g5 attacking the bishop so easily. Um, and the majority of players are not going to see that the queen needs to come here. They're most likely going to fall back so that they can keep protecting this and not understanding that this now just makes it a draw. Um, I mean, it could even potentially be um, like where they just trade off. But it looks like if they trade off, then white is actually back to being better. But yeah, I guess come here and then here and trying to fork. So, but you know, going over this because I do like to play the Englund Gambit. I definitely have gotten several people with the England. Like if we flip the board, um, you know, like we showed. Ooh, go go back and forget this, and this is England. And if they take it, then if we want to play a main line, then we're typically going to play this and watch them play this move. And um, typically, once they play that, then we're going to check, attacking the king, the bishop, and the pawn. Bishop is forced back. We come here. Now, some will actually play this move, which is just the worst move in the position because now they're just kind of losing. Let's imagine they do something else. Let's say they play this move. We just take here, and they have to block here, and we can actually play this and just completely win material and just be super up. Let's say they go here. I'm going to come here. And if they go here, oh, well, probably come here first. Oh, let's go back. Let's go here first. Force them there and then come here. Uh, because if they take, then we're going to take with check. But I forgot that there's no rook, there's no fork. So it really doesn't make any sense to go there. We're just winning a pawn. Um, but uh, but basically, coming here, the whole thing is the knight is actually the best move. Once they take to bring the knight here, we can do this. And the funny thing is, after this, some grand masters, including Amon Hambleton, if you've ever seen the Chess Bros channel, will actually tell you that giving up the queen for two pieces is actually not a bad thing, especially with the fact that your position is a little bit easier to play because we're going to start developing, and there's actually a game on here, if I'm not mistaken, that was played by Amon Hambleton. Uh, let's see, where is it? I know I saw it one day, but where is it? But as you can see, this was um, Daniel Naroditsky versus Magnus Carlsen, and then playing, which were bullet games, I believe, because that's pretty much all they really play against each other. I'm trying to remember because I know I saw the game, and don't remember where I saw it, but I'm pretty sure I thought I saw it in the database here, but it might not have been. Might have been somewhere else. But they did show giving it up for some material, but it was pretty much where you can actually uh, give up the queen, but this way it works out a whole lot better. Because after this, now we can come here. We're looking at winning this, so even if we go here, we go here, um, and this is forcing. Uh, Yeah, we take here so that we can protect this, but I mean, this is just one of the uh, few ways to do it. But like I said, and then the other way of it, obviously, is another variation of the England is with this, and typically they play this move, and even if they and I've actually seen them play this move too, and I've actually gone ahead and done it this way. Sometimes they'll actually take here. And even though you're giving up another piece, you can actually take and take here. And once they take, if they do promote it, you can take, they take. Um, but you're actually up material. It's even after I mean, you're getting some of it back. But they're most likely after taking here, and if you go here, they're going to come back all the way. But we can just go here, and as they develop, we're going to take, attacking this and this. They can come here, they can take. If they go here, cutting off our check, um, we'll just take, let them develop. If I could actually move the piece correctly, you know, I mean, there's just so much that uh, you can do. But typically, in that variation, it's this, and then they typically play, I cannot seem to develop my moves. They play this move, play this, and I typically pre-move this move, hoping to catch them to take because then you get this. And it's there's a similar tactic in the Stafford Gambit, um, which I think I've actually got in my studies. I think I've actually got that variation. Here we go. Down. Uh, I can't remember. Which one was this game in the Stafford? Okay, so we didn't actually play a Stafford, but it led into a Stafford-like position. This is actually called, if I'm not mistaken, like a Urasov Gambit, um, where okay, so it's the bishop's opening. I thought this was considered the Urasov, but the Urasov is a little bit different. So we allow him to take, coming here to just kind of win the game and just totally crush our opponent. But I don't remember. There is a line here. What in the world? What in the heck is going? Okay, so this is obviously nothing. But which one is this one? Okay, so this one is another fun position of the Stafford where we're actually looking to check here. And the engine will tell you to push this, but most players are not going to see to push that. They're going to probably develop or push here to develop this, where we check. Oh, wrong piece. Take here, and we get this. Another fun tactic is, maybe we come here so they can take. Oh, never mind. And then we can take here, force them here, and then take here, which could be another great idea because now they come here. We actually have this move forcing them over more, and we can actually force them over even more because now they're forced here, and we can check here, actually allowing them to take that, and then checking here and forcing this, and just really putting them in a bind because you look at it and it's mate in two now, and the king has just gone on a journey, and he's not going to be too happy. We've really given it a go, and if we look at here, say so it is a mate in five. Even back here, we come back for if he goes, oh, we come here, and that's a oh yeah, because you can't go here or here. And the rook is covering that, so yeah. So this is a new line that I'm learning as well. So I mean, but that all starts from them playing this, and we can actually go here with the sacrifice. Uh, and the reason why I say it's so strong is because of the fact that regardless of what you do, I really think that you can come up with some great things because if they come here, okay. So I see that now we're being forced. Okay, so I see why it's so strong for white now, and why because I completely forgot they can just push this, so we can disregard that whole spiel. Uh, but one of the main thematics of the Stafford is if we go into a typical Stafford Gambit, one of the things is this, and we develop here, and then they like to develop here. Here is where the tactics really come to life. I'm sure that people are very familiar with the "Oh no, my queen" line, where you take here and you say "Oh no, my queen," and you allow them to take. Um, Most will tell, as you can see, the engine already sees it. They already know what's coming, and to just move back. But if they take here, then we get a similar position to what I just showed you in the Englund Gambit, where we can actually take here, and if they take here, then we get the queen. And regardless, we are actually winning the queen by force. So if they take, we take. If they come here, then we're actually going to come here, forcing this and forcing them here. So regardless, we are still getting the piece. If they push, then we just come back, and now we're going to castle long, get our rooks in the game, and everything is going to come to life. Black is going to have a very fun game. White is going to have a very atrocious game, and that'll be fun. I did play a game the other day. I would love to show it just for fun. And the reason why I want to show it is, let's see, what day was it? It was, I believe it was on Wednesday. Should have been June 30. I believe it was on that day. I played, what color was I? I think it was black. I think I played as black. And won. I have to find the guy I played against. Oh, it's gonna show all those games. Okay. End date was July 30. Search. I played a few games that day. It was a get. I think it was this guy. No, it wasn't that guy. It was against an American. I remember that. Uh, maybe I played as white. So this one, no, it wasn't him. Which guy was it? Maybe it was on Tuesday. It was the 29th. But like I said, I know there was a day I played it. I really want to show it because it just goes to show you. Uh, let's see. Maybe I did play as black. Oh well, I don't remember. But let me just look at all my recent games. Maybe it was even on Thursday, but the it had to have been on a Wednesday because uh, my friend at work was still there. But the whole thing about it was the guy, got mad that I didn't resign uh, in a completely winning position. Or I'm sorry, he said the position was completely winning. Um, I downloaded the game, but I didn't actually upload it. I think I downloaded it. Maybe I didn't. But he got mad that I checked him like 20 times and eventually won the game. And he was just so mad because of the fact that he was saying that the position was lost and that I was supposed to resign. I was down one piece and one piece only. And even if you're down one piece, the position doesn't necessarily mean that it's over and that you've lost. It just means that you're down a piece, but the game is still playable. And I played it out, and I played for a win, and I did end up beating him. And it was so funny because he got so mad at that. The fact that I just ended up getting tongue tied, and ended up playing for a win and beating him, and he just couldn't believe it. And I was like, well, you should believe it. There were several games I've played where you know, but yeah, I mean, it was just I just didn't get the fact that he was actually so mad at the fact that I won and he lost. But I just can't seem to figure out who I played against. But it was such a great game. I'll have to maybe I can show it tomorrow or something. Maybe I can pull it up. But it's basically a game that shows you why you should never resign and why you should always look for tactics and different things, different positions, because you never know uh, what's going to happen. Because from day to day, uh, everything is different. Every game is different. Yeah, you'll run into a lot of similar positions and you'll understand how to play against them, but my goodness. But yeah, it was but yeah, the I just wish I saw the game. But basically, I ran his king all the way into a corner and just ended up running him. Like the king literally traveled the entire board and then got mated in White's territory. And he got so frustrated about it. And he was saying how it was a losing position and that uh, I was supposed to resign because I was in a losing position when, like I said, I looked at it, I analyzed it, and the game was not a losing position. I think for like maybe 5 moves, it was a losing position. So this is the guy that must have refunded me points on. But like I said, the position for like 5 moves was losing, but that was it. But dang, where is it? Okay, so it wasn't that one. That one was a draw. I wish I could look up games that were played by just certain countries. It wasn't that one. That was just a loss. And this is going way back, and I know it wasn't that far back. I know I won it. I wish I knew what opening it was. But let's see. We'll say from Monday to Wednesday because it was in one of those time frames. And it, like I said, it was a winning game, but just don't remember which game it was. I know where the pieces were because the king and his queen were in the corner, uh, like quite literally in the corner, and they were in White's territory, I believe. It could have, like I said, I could have been playing as black and they were in my territory, but I'm pretty sure I played as white. And like I said, I ended up dropping a piece and then just fought back so beautifully to find the win. But it wasn't easy. And if only I could find Z game. I don't know where it is. Like I said, I know I won. But that's about all I can remember. Let's see. So let's just start going through them all. And maybe it wasn't an American. It was just somebody. But I remember the dude was just so pissed off about it. And as you can see, there's an England where I told you about that position, and that guy just resigned right then and there. Uh, this guy thought that I was winning his queen because he moves over, and I take the queen. But in all honesty, you know what? Actually, I think it's just well, yeah, it's really not so clear. She can't really take it because then he takes mine. But I guess because I take the queen, he takes the queen, I take a rook, and I'm just up a piece. I guess that's why he resigned. But I don't know that it was really that easy to spot. Uh, but yeah, some of the people that I ended up playing against were just making really, really, really bad calls. Like this guy, the "Oh no, my queen" variation of that Stafford Gambit I was telling you about. Um, he fell into it like just straight bookwork here. Just he took, and checkmate. Game over. Uh, so it just shows you that people can fall into it. Um, this one was a beautiful game to show how it finished. He just put himself in such a horrible position. Maybe I could show it real quick. But I mean, there's been a couple of games. Oh, here it is. It was this guy. I finally found the damn game that I wanted to show. Beautiful game played, and he got so mad. Like I said, I thought it was against an American, but it ended up being a guy from Germany. But he tried to play the Englund Gambit, and like I said, I know some of the refutations of England, and he tried to play the more modern with this, and we already went over it. And so I went ahead and I played this, and then I went ahead and took, because he was expecting me to take and then take back here. But like I said, I already knew what not to do. Um, and so I just kind of developed my pieces. And like I said, I did end up making a really horrible move. Uh, and that was right about uh, right about here. I went here, and this was a fairly decent move, other than trading. But I didn't want to trade. And the mistake I made was I took here. I took here, forgetting that the queen is on it, and forgetting that there's just a whole bunch of tactical ideas, and they all came to life. And you'll see that he's now a piece up. So I have the knight and the queen. He's got the queen and two knights, 5 pawns versus uh, 7 pawns. So I'm up 2 pawns per se, but he's up a piece. So even though I'm up 2 pawns, he's up a piece. So that's why he has the +1. Position wise, it's better for black at this point. But I played uh, a very neutralizing move, and the reason I say that is because of this. And I'm literally threatening mate in 1. The queen here is mate. So I found the beautiful move that it protects the pawn, it attacks the knight, and it threatens the mate in 1. And my opponent actually ended up seeing the fact that I was threatening a mate in 1, and went ahead and checked me, and then moved the knight here, stopping it. But really, it wasn't really stopping it. And believe it or not, uh, up until this point, up until this knight move right here, black was actually winning the game. So I will say that when he told me to resign, I did have a losing position. But this knight move actually made it a draw position. So if you're going to tell your opponent to resign because they're in a losing position, then that means you should not lose. If you say they have a losing position and that you are much better than they are, then you should not lose the game. Plain and simple. If you say they have a losing position, then you should not lose, regardless of what white does. If you know that it's a winning position for you, you should not lose the game, no matter what you do. And so, as you can see, I just checked, and you will see that I did miss a couple of things in this game, and they're pretty obvious. But the engine basically was stating I made all the right moves, but besides a couple. And the move was to take here when I had the chance, but I didn't do it. He moved there, uh, and you'll see where I just check him like, and so here I was actually supposed to take the pawn. Excuse me, but I didn't do it. And this is actually where the game is actually now turned into white's favor. It actually states, and we'll pull up the analysis on it, and you'll see that it actually has become white's game to lose at this point. Let's see. And they actually say that knight takes e3. Wow, was a double exclam brilliant move. Um, Interesting. You'll see that I actually played with a lot more accuracy than my opponent did in this game. But going forward, you'll see that I was actually supposed to play queen here. And if you look at the analysis, you'll see that it clearly states black is better in this position. But when I took there and took here and took there and got this, uh, he did get that, but I'm clearly down a piece. He took there, and you'll see that this move is what I was supposed to play. Queen here, threatening the mate, protecting this pawn, and once he checked there, obviously I'm forced here. It says King D2 is the best move. It's not the just because it's the best move. It's the only move in the position. There's no other move that you can make. Because I mean, let's face it. There's no block. There's no way to block it. The king is literally forced here. But going forwards, and you can see that once they played this move, um, it actually is now it's better for white. Uh, when I looked at it on the engine on Lichess, I actually said it was a drawn position. So this engine might actually be a little bit stronger than the engine on uh, Lichess. But going forward, we went ahead and checked, and like I said, I had analyzed it and seeing that now I'm just getting all my pieces in the game, and I'm not giving him a chance to do anything. And I was really just looking for the draw, but he didn't do it. And like I said, I was supposed to take this attacking the king, but you'll see where I went ahead and I checked there, forcing him away, and then I checked here. And I'm just really trying to run him into the corner, and I checked here instead of here, which does end up losing this pawn, but I think it actually kind of helps me out a little bit. Uh, but I was supposed to check with the knight because the queen is forced to take it, and we now get the queen, but he went there, and as you can see, it is clearly winning now for white. So basically just forcing moves, and ended up forcing a whole lot of bad play from my opponents, which led me to the mate. And he said what I did was rude, to just constantly check him in the game, and uh, in what's known as a losing position. But like I said, if it's such a losing position, then you should not lose. If I'm in a losing position, then I should not win, regardless of what I do, regardless of how I play the game. And you know, he he said otherwise, so I I beat him. Um, but this game was a pretty awesome game. And the reason why I say it was awesome is it just was a beautiful work of art, and it was really fun to look at. And I hate my rating here. My rating has dropped so much. I was 1492 at one point, mostly hovering around the 1450 mark, and I dropped below 1300, and now I'm trying to make my climb back. But uh, but that was in rapid, and this was blitz. My blitz rating on chess.com has been around 1350-ish, I think, 1338, somewhere around in there. And I think that's what I'm currently at now. I can't remember, but yeah. So, but going over it, it was fun, because uh, in this game, I played the typical opening that I play, which is the London. He played almost more of a main line, except for the main line doesn't include take here. Um, and so I just developed my pieces. He kind of went with a Stonewall type of setup, almost like a Stonewall Dutch, but with this early C5 takes on D4. It's not your typical Dutch. So, uh, but going forward, I just put my knight in the center, hoping to either bring the bishop or maybe a pawn and kind of solidify it. And he went ahead and castled, and I said, to hell with it. We're going all out. We're going to storm. We forced the knight away, and I went ahead and brought the queen out immediately. Now, the reason for it is because I'm looking at pushing this. I'm not too worried if he takes. I take, even though I can't castle anymore. My rook can come over. My king can eventually hoppity, hoppity, hoppity all the way over to the other side of the board if needed. You can also just stay right in the center and be around everybody and be perfectly happy. So, he went here to threaten the bishop. I want to keep my bishop. You know, I don't want to trade it. Plus, there's nothing defending it, and there's no good way to defend it other than bring the queen back. And the queen is placed pretty well up here on h5. So he goes back, and I just went ahead and took. Probably not the best of ideas, but once he made this move to develop the bishop to get all of his backline pieces communicating, I went ahead and took the initiative and castled to put the rook here, pinning the bishop to the queen, and allowing me to I don't want to say get a move up, but just kind of put him in a position to where the queen isn't as optimally placed as you might want it. So I just continue to push up. And I see that he's trying to storm on my side, but I've been storming on his already. And I push up here with the thematic idea of the fact that I want to sacrifice this bishop. This bishop wants to take this pawn. He wants to do it. It's in his soul to do it. You know, he just has to have that pawn. I don't know why, but he has to just have that pawn. It's his. There's nothing Black can do about it. So he does push down, and I do take it. And it's a beautiful move. And the whole reason why it's beautiful is if, let's say we imagine takes, there's no good way to defend this king. This is a mate right here. If he comes down, we're taking. And then we get the rook over. I mean, everything is just coming to life for us. There's really no life that Black has. If he plays this move, then we're still going here with the mate. So again, there's really nothing. I mean, if he plays the rook that we take, he takes. We can slide over. If he comes here, we can always trade. And then slide over and then force him back and just totally crush his hopes and dreams. And even if he ends up going here, then we're still going to come here. He's going to come here. And now we can come up, force the king here, and he's still down another piece. And as you can see, we've got two pieces. He's got two, or I'm sorry, we got three pieces. He's got two pieces. The king is not in a very good way. There's no good way to defend. I really wouldn't want to be Black in this game because I do not see a way for them to win this game. It's just very resignable. So he actually played this move and took the pawn. Now, I don't know if you saw it, but he really couldn't get away with taking this pawn. Even though I had undefended it, he forgot about a key piece. And that was the light squared bishop, which I saw. I saw the whole time. I was like, oh, I'm giving up a pawn. But then I looked at the position because I looked and I was like, oh, crap, I gave up a pawn. But I took a second. I said, wait, I didn't give up that pawn. He can't take it. If he takes it, then he loses a bishop. So he's not going to take it. And the fruitcake ended up taking it. So, of course, we took the bishop and said, thank you for the bishop. I appreciate you giving it to us. And then when he developed here to try to protect this, even though the queen was already on it, regardless of how he did it, it wasn't going to matter because after he takes, I didn't care. It was just a beautiful, beautiful checkmate, and won the game pretty convincingly. And if we actually look at the engine, which I'm actually curious about, because I really just want to see how bad off they got. But it says I had two miswins. He had one blunder to 4, 2 mistakes to none, 1 inaccuracy to 4. And you'll see that I played a lot more best moves than he did. And yeah, it was just a beautiful, beautiful game. And you'll see that all these moves were just thematic and principled, whereas, you know, they wanted me to castle, but I said, to hell with castling. We are going on the offensive. And they wanted the knight here, actually. I'm surprised. But huh. But yeah, so the queen. So if the queen would have come here, maybe a castle, but they're saying that's a loss. Oh, well, not that, but I wonder why. I wonder why they say that's so bad. Let's see, take. Oh, I see. Yeah, because after this, maybe fork my rooks. Okay. I really don't. But we went here. He went there, and if you look at it, they're saying that black is actually better here, but you'll notice that it's actually starting to equalize a little bit, and that now it's back to white being in the driver's seat. And so I went ahead and I took, and then I just went with the all-out attack, and went ahead and castled while I could, pinning it. And once he came here with that mistake, you'll see that it jumps up for white. So, like I said early on, it was definitely there were definitely opportunities for both sides. Uh, they wanted me to take here, but I but for the most part, it doesn't seem as clear cut taking as it does to push up. But let's imagine we take. Because one of the things I saw was taken this way, and now you're putting pressure on the queen, and it's not a position that you really want to be in. I mean, yeah, I can come here, and we're looking at this, but I don't know that it's really so clear cut, you know. But pushing past, even though they say it's a miss win, I feel like it's a little bit stronger of a move because of the fact that if it gets here, then it can be pretty dangerous. And so as you can see, and they say that okay, so since how I didn't take, pushing forward again is the best move. And as you can see, they said that they were supposed to take, and instead of pushing past, and you'll see that the engine says bishop takes is the best move, and black cannot take back because let's imagine they take. You see, it's a mistake. We take, and there's no clear way for them to defend it. They have to play this move and give up the rook, and they have to take back. And at that point, now we can come over. We can even do this and watch them go here. At which point we can come here. They're saying to just queen check it and probably just run this pawn. Then we come here and they're saying to get the rook behind now and end the game. But yeah, it's he would have to. Oh, and he can't go there, so maybe here, but going there is just a mate in one. He would have to give up this. We could take here, allowing this, and it just, I mean, everything just starts to really fall apart for him. But going back, like we said, and you can see right here, playing G6, it says that white is up basically a piece, but we haven't even won a piece yet. And the reason it says it is because of the fact that if they push past and everything, then they're just completely losing, which is what happened. And you notice that it jumped to plus 11 for white. And we played the thematic take, basically sacrificing the bishop, but knowing that we're not sacrificing the bishop because we know he cannot take without giving up even more material. And we know that's not what he wants to do. So this queen here ended up being a blunder. Um, and as you could, they said that wasn't even the right move. So that was a missed win. And that bishop to d2 is mate in 2. So let's look at this real quick. Oh, it is a mate. Because there's nowhere for this king to go. And the queen really doesn't have anywhere to... Oh, he has to do this. Check here and here. Okay. So regardless, I mean, it's a forced mate. So regardless of what he does, it's pretty much game over. So the bishop back is actually the best move. And really, you could probably even come back here and allow them to do something. But they're saying that's a missed win. But I don't really see why, because they're still... Because even if they take... Oh, I see why. Because I'm in check. That makes sense. Um, and going here is pretty much the same thing, where we allow them, they can take, but it just really delays it. Because now we go here, and if he takes, okay, so then yeah, they're just wanting it to be sacrificed because yeah, there's not much they can really do. And now it's here and then here. So, but yeah, the bishop all the way back just alleviates all of that. So coming here, but going forward with what actually played out in the game, we took, and I saw that it was free, but I didn't see that bishop back was a checkmate in 2, which is one of the good things about analyzing games with an engine. You see things that you might not have actually seen in the game, and maybe it gives you a chance to where if you're in a similar position, you can come back and be ready for it with a even stronger positional move. But yeah, bringing the bishop back with it's definitely an engine-esque move to find the mate in 2. Uh, I think probably only like top level players would really see bishop back as a forced mate. But most players are going to see, oh, this was hanging. But it also gives us a better sense because of the fact that now we're up here on this line, and as you can see, he's still trying to figure out how to defend. And they're saying to take, but then we take. We also have this, and even if he goes here, oh, they're saying to bring the queen up. But we could still get material and just completely crush Black's hopes and dreams. But I do see where they're saying that not, taken here, if he would have seen this move, but he didn't, and it did lead to a mate. So realizing that this move is bad because leaving it here is what Black was supposed to do and take, because there's no clear way to for us to win, even though we're up, and they're saying to just take here because now he can't go here. And once we take, as you can see, we are up a lot. So now it's Black's move. He might come down, but I could actually just go, oh, yeah, they're saying to just take. So we know that he's not going to do that. I mean, who in their right mind would play this? They were saying to go here, which actually defends this. Maybe we... Oh, and it's a check, so we have to move the king. Let's see. I'm not sure what I would play. Maybe... No, they're definitely not. They're saying to go here, try to attack this, but I'm just going to come here. I wonder why they say that's such a bad move. Oh, I see. Because we hang the rook. It's a check. And we're actually hanging mate. If we go there, we're not. Well, we're not hanging mate, but we are giving up material, and now we are in a very losing position. So we definitely wouldn't want to get into that. But as we all saw how this game ended, it just ended in a beautiful fashion with this and him taking on a piece that he could not take and us checkmating here. Even if he played here, it's still a mate in four uh, because we're in check. Oh, and we take here. I guess he could take that, but after this, we could come here, and then this move with this move is still pretty much a checkmate because I mean you can't move that, and saying to go here. I was looking at playing this to basically keep the king there, but I realize how bad that is because now he just takes, and even if we queen, he just takes back. So it's not a very clear way of winning, and so it actually just ended up just losing on the spot with the way he played it. But it definitely I definitely wouldn't have wanted to be black trying to find the right moves because once we got into the position and just once I had blown it wide open, I mean at this point in the game and not taking and pushing past and just seeing some of these ideas and how I, I wasn't understanding how they were going to be able to play it because I was sitting there thinking, well, you can't come down and he can't take because if he takes, then it's just losing on the spot because now he's kind of forced here, or I'm sorry, yeah, now he's forced here and he's forced to lose it, and now it's just completely crushing because I'm going to come here, and regardless of what they do, uh, we're just going to come here, and even if he comes down, um, we're going to check him here, force him here, go here. Oh, sorry, go here, force this, maybe swing this over so that we can, oh, I see, so they want here, force him here, and then here with the mate, so crazy at some of these positions, but, the, like I said, playing it as black, once we got to, I would say, this position right here, it's so ugly for black. I mean, he's just getting blown up, and there's, like I said, no clear way of winning because now we've got this pawn that's rolling up, and I don't see how he stops it because we've got our bishop coming, we've got pawn coming, we've got the rook. This rook can slide over. I mean, it's just getting very, 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 very ugly for black. I mean, even if he played this move, going for the all-out attack, we could just push up. Let's say he comes down, we just push up. And even if he pushes down in here, we're just going to take here with mate. And if he tries to address this, then no, we can take here, let him take. Uh, okay, so we can't actually do that, so we can go here. And obviously he can't come over anymore. Uh, but maybe at some point we slide the rook here and try to blow up the position, but it's just not clear for black as to how to really defend white's attack, and he's just in a horrible spot. The king is all in the open, and we are definitely coming for him. I think there was like one other really cool game that I played. I think this one was a pretty fun thematic one. Again, I was playing my opening of the London, and I was playing against a guy who was playing like a double. Was it? Oh, okay, no. This guy didn't play the double fianchetto. I thought it was the guy that played the double fianchetto, and he kind of played like a weird Carol Khan type opening if you look at it. But actually, I take that back. It's not a Carol Khan because the Carol Khan is not that. It's this and this. But we just like I said, it was just a really weird opening, and so I just kind of sat back and played. Okay, so he does end up double fianchettoing in this game. I thought this guy did. He just didn't do it right away. Okay, I take that back. He didn't double fianchetto. He brought it all the way out here, which I was trying to figure out really how I wanted to play it. He just wanted to, but like I said, I made the mistake here of putting my knight here and allowing him to get the discover check and win a piece. And I haven't been playing my best chess lately. So after going down a piece, I did see me winning a pawn and maybe winning a bishop. Or actually, I did win the bishop because it was check. I forgot the. So I actually did end up getting my piece back, but I was actually looking for more. And it wasn't just necessarily winning the piece back, as much as it was just trying to maybe win the game outright, because I've got some very active pieces here. This knight is active, this queen is active, this bishop is active, this bishop is semi-active, the rooks are communicating, they can come in at any time, on maybe on this pawn or something, because maybe the queen can take, get the keep the king kind of in the center, bring the rook in, and just blow everything up. And so he ends up blocking. So I end up attacking the queen. He defends it. I come back with a check. King has to go here. It's really about the only place he can go. And so I went ahead and I took the free pawn. And then came back. Decided to go ahead and bring this rook in. I think it was actually better to play the rook on d1 over to e1 and leave the rook on the h-file, but either way, he still can't take this because queen protects it. This is protected. This is protected a couple of ways, but he's really not attacking this at all. So truthfully, nothing is hanging. But I did take a minute and try to figure out, okay, he moved the queen here. What is he doing? Where is he going? And, the queen was trying to get a little more active per se. Still defending this, but after he made that move, I was still kind of confused. So what he was trying to do, because I guess he saw the fact that I had two attackers on this knight, so if I take and he takes, I take back. And so he was trying to, I guess, just add another defender, which I was originally looking to take the knight and give up a rook for two knights, which is definitely a good trade for me. But that's where this rook coming over would have been better, because now if I take, queen takes with check, and it's just very, very, very ugly. So really, this this bishop wasn't.
wasn't needed because through tactics, the queen is actually protecting this knight. So if we go back a move, and let's imagine we take, oh, uh, whose move is it? Oh, it's Black's move. So let's go here. Um, let's just make a random move, random pawn move. And let's say I take. He actually can still take it, but he can actually take here first and actually just end the game immediately. So that's why I was saying I really can't take it because it gives up the game. But obviously, I don't think my opponent saw that. So sliding over, he defends, and we just went here with a beautiful check, which actually, believe it or not, ended up forcing this, I think, because the king actually has nowhere to go. He can't go here, and he can't go here because the knight is covering both of those squares. The bishop is actually covering this square, so he can't go straight up, and he can't take because pawn protects. So he's actually forced to give up the queen and a checkmate. Um, I forget what actually ended up happening. I think my opponent ended up resigning in this because he realized, you know, it's mate. Because after takes, take back, checkmate, game over. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. Uh, but yeah, that was just a very beautiful win. Uh, not sure if I had any other good ones that were really worthwhile. Um, was this one in England or something? I'm trying to remember this position. I'm trying to remember what happened. Okay, so I was ended up playing against somebody who tried to play a mainline England, and as you can see, he actually played the best move of going here, and I went ahead and played this, and he played the absolute worst move of this. And if we look at it, we'll see how the engine says that was absolutely atrocious, and that move was never, ever, ever to be played. And you'll see two blunders by my opponent. And you'll see no inaccuracies, no mistakes, no blunders, no miswins for me. We played pretty much all the best moves, and well, I'm sorry, not all the best. We played 6 of the best, 1 excellent, 5 good, and just obviously outplayed our opponent who made the mistakes in the game. Um, and something I'll tell people that watch in the future or currently watching, if you're gonna play a gambit, remember that gambits are good and fun if your opponent is not prepared. If your opponent is prepared and they do know the refutations of the opening, do not force it. Just move on and try to play something else. Because if you keep trying to force positions, especially when they know some of the better refutation lines, you're going to get in serious trouble. And this is one of those games. And that's why we're going to show it and show how to kind of play against the mainline England with this thematic knight to d5, attacking the queen and kind of forcing this. Uh, and once he plays there, it's great because we can come here and you can see that they're saying queen to d4 is the best move. So I'll remember that for next time, that instead of playing the bishop, we're actually going to play this. And now let's try to figure out why this is such a strong move. And it's probably because of the fact that we are kind of threatening this or this. We're also at some point going to threaten this. I mean, it's just, and that's probably what it is because uh, let's imagine they play something like this. We go here with a check. They're forced to block it. We can come. Oh, we just come here with a check. Or I'm sorry, not a check, but a take. So let's say they block it here. Well, now we can go here, force the king here,
and then we get this, and even though that this can come here, which is a mistake, obviously, I mean, there's just no good thing that we can do. Um, it could come here. We could probably go here so that the knight can come. So that the knight can come back here. So I mean, it's just looking very dire for them. So we understand that the move here is really to threaten this. So let's say this. Oh, they're saying to bring the knight in front. So bring the knight here. Go here. I guess they want to take. Now let's take back. I guess I could play something like this to allow this, but they're saying that's a horrible idea. Is it this? No, they're saying, oh, this. Oh, okay, because this, and then we just take up here. So regardless, that's why I said horrible, is because now you're giving up the check and losing the rook. Duh. You should have seen that to begin with. But plus, if they do it right here, we can just straight take. Then if they take back, we can actually check, but they'll just go back. Oh, I see why, yeah, because now you can't play that, yeah, so now you can just play this, winning this. What is it? This, take, 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 check, and force this, and yeah, now you got a better position, but it's not as clear cut. But you know, looking at the refutation, let's go all the way back. But looking at the refutation that I know to play is basically to play this. And after all of this, to come here, basically forking. And as you can see, they were supposed to play this, which basically kills my whole idea of this, but this is still a very, very, very strong move because we are threatening the check here, and everything starts to get very bad. So let's imagine here, and let's this. Oh, that's weird. They're saying, wow. So they're actually saying to just move the king. Oh, and I see why. Because you move the king here. Unless they make a silly move. Now you come here. And now the queen is lost. So that's the whole thing. So yeah. So that's understandable. But yeah, it's a pretty crazy one. But as you can see, my opponent did not play the best moves. He played like the absolute worst move and just loses on the spot. I mean, you can see +8 for white. Um, we take, we take, and he ended up coming here for some odd reason. I don't really understand why. I just went ahead and I pushed the pawn up because, I mean, let's face it, it's not doing anything. I'm going to bring the knight back with a check. He can't take. Once he moved over, I just went ahead and pushed up because I know he can't take. Ugh. And I'm really just looking to get my pieces in the game. And as you can see, you know, I go ahead and I take it. And I brought my queen right here. And just forced the surrender because now uh, I was looking at checking here and forcing him here and then bringing this out to win more material. Um, and it was just not going to be fun. So let's imagine in this position, he plays that move, which is probably the best move. Probably. Oh, they're saying to go here. Okay, so it's going to set up winning it because regardless of where he goes, once he goes here, Um, oh, they're actually saying for him to take, take, take. But we've got this, but we don't want to do it. We just want to go here. And now he's got to worry about the queen. But I guess, oh, the queen doesn't want to go there because it's free. They're saying to go here, and that effectively alleviates it because I guess we could come here. Oh, I see what they're. So they were saying to sack. Ah, yeah, because then we come here, force him here, and then we come here. And it's a dual threat because we're basically forcing the queen to give itself up. I was looking at something else entirely, but I definitely did not see to check here, forcing this whole shebang because this is mate. So if he doesn't take, and let's say he just moves out the way, then oop, mouse slip, then we can checkmate right here. But that is all the time I have for tonight. I actually went way overboard tonight on the time. Wife is probably going to kill me, but yeah, as you can see, just did not make the right moves and just ended up losing this game on the spot and just ended up resigning because he's really in no good position. Because unfortunately this knight is stopping most of my ideas, but imagine he plays something like this. We could take here or up. Oops, sorry. Uh, yeah, let's go back. Play here with check. Force him here, and then I guess we could actually play something like this to force him here, and then check here, forcing him down. But with that, was it check? Force him here, and then mating. Oh, oh, it's not a mate. Okay. I guess here. And then he'd be forced into a mate if he actually walked all the way there. Obviously, uh, if we checked him here, there's a couple of moves. Like he's got the move here. We check here, and that would be a mate. So I guess regardless, it would be pretty ugly. And let's analyze the other knight move that we saw, where we go here with the check. When we force him more, and actually we could have even probably brought the knight with the check, but then he can just come back. So this forces him down, and then come here, and that would actually be a mate. So it'd actually be better going the other way, going this way instead of this way with the double check. Because, like we said, knights on the edge, knights on the rim are dim. So keeping him in the middle and forcing this move is probably the better route because once he goes up, which is the only way he can go, it's just a quick mate. So, and that was the original one I was looking at, was checking here and then taking here. I really will say I did not consider taking this, but I guess it is another uh, way of checkmating if they don't play properly. So again, you know, let's say they go here, we go here, they go here, but it's, and let's even take it a step further and say they play this move, we go here, they take. Um, Now it's not so clear cut because we can come here, they can block it, and it's really not winning. In fact, it's actually borderline losing. One, two, three. One, two, three, four. I mean, we would still be up a piece, but definitely doesn't seem as clear cut. I mean, I guess we could do something like this, but once he pushes past, it's definitely better for him because now it's a 2-on-2, and the only difference is it's a knight versus a knight and a rook versus two rooks. But yeah, so definitely going that way with the knight is not the right move, and going uh, this way. Oh, that's right. We said making random moves, and then checking, forcing him here and here. Um, and obviously now he can't go there. He'd be forced here. And then this move is the thematic checkmate. So the best move in this position is probably to play. Oop, it's probably playing like this pawn. I don't know that this one would be any better, but let's give it a shot and look. Actually, it might be that one because now there's no real way of winning because we can't come up and we can't really take anything. So this pawn would probably actually be more of the better moves out of what we're looking at, even though it looks ugly. I don't see how this wins for. Let's see, because well, I mean, I guess we could go here, freeing up for this, but then he can come here. So let's say he takes, we check, and we come here. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's not really winning because we can't go here because bishop is controlling it. Um, can't go here. Guess we could go here with a check. And he's obviously not going to want to go up because that just runs into a checkmate, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't. It's definitely not so clear cut. But maybe tomorrow or next week we can analyze some games and some openings and start to put together a like a good refutation and really start to deep dive into some of these openings and some of these uh, positions and really just start to look at how to better play them and look for ways that we could have won or ways that and try to figure out how we lost them and uh, really go over them and try to learn some positions. And in fact, I actually played a game the other day. It was actually a Scotch opening, but it led to basically a Stafford Gambit-esque position that ended up just winning on the spot. Wish I knew which game it was, but
it was definitely a beautiful win, but don't really remember which game it was. But we'll save that for another time. I'll try to find it and show it. But it was definitely an interesting game. I can't remember who it was against, but yeah, that was a Stafford Gambit win. Was it this? Oh, that was another Stafford Gambit. Maybe. Oh, this was not the Stafford Gambit. This was like a Eurosoft Gambit. So I like to play the Eurosoft Gambit too because it can lead into uh, a Stafford Gambit-esque position. But one thing that you'll realize is this is a completely dubious uh, opening, and against high-level players, you'll just lose because they'll understand that they're up. You know, you gave up a rook for literally nothing, and now you've given up a knight. Yeah, it looks like you have great position, and in some ways you kind of do, but you know, obviously them playing this move is just bad because now they have to give up the queen. And you take, and if they take, then it's mate, so they can't take back. So once you take here, uh, I really don't know what the best move is. Maybe this to this, but and then maybe here. But regardless, it's. I mean, it's still just ugly. It's still just losing on the spot. There's nothing they can do. So, um, but there was a pretty cool a Scotch game that I played. Um, I forget what day it was. It might have been Wednesday that I played it. And this one, I'll have to go over. Uh, in fact, let me download it at some point. But let's see where. I don't remember. I wonder if they have it where I can find. Oh, Scotch games. Here we go. Okay, so they don't have. So I obviously didn't play a true Scotch game, but I did play a into a Scotch opening, but not the full Scotch game. That's pretty stupid that they. Uh, well, I'll try to find it and show it next week or something. But yeah, it was a pretty cool game. But it pretty much led into a Stafford Gambit-esque position where if we go to an analysis, let's see, flip the board. They played this, we played this, and we kind of I think they played this, taking, and then playing here. And if I remember correctly, this is a Scotch, and I think we traded like this. I'm trying to remember what ended up happening. I might have even played uh, something else. I think they ended up playing this, but I think it's more something more similar, but maybe it was something like this, and them castling and me just coming out. Uh, and maybe my bishop was, I don't remember. I'd have to look at it, but and really find the game. But it was such a great Scotch that we that I ended up playing against or playing in rather. But It doesn't show it. I can't find it. And I know it was here. I just don't remember who it played against. But
because I ended up showing it to a friend, and it was all about even if you know some positions, um, you can still run into. Let's see. So I know I played as black, and I know I won the game. Pretty sure it was. It may have even been on July 1st. Why did I not play any July 1st? Oh, you know what? Probably didn't. Oh, probably because I don't have it set up to look right. Here we go. You know what? I think it may have been this game. I think it may have been this one. Let me see. Yeah, so this is the Four Knights game, Scotch variation. It started off as a Petrov, and then it turned into a Four Knight Scotch. So yeah, this was the game, and so I still wanted to play like a Stafford Gambit esque style because of the fact that my position was there. I already had everything in place, and I said to hell with it because I can't bring the queen here. Um, because it's blocked off. I was like, let's go ahead. Let's just play h5, and let's go ahead and sacrifice. Let's sacrifice our knight. And this was the blunder. Taking the knight was the right move for white. By absolutely the right move. I looked at it and said it was a complete mistake. And as you can see, we made one mistake, and that was the mistake, giving up the knight. We were really supposed to bring the knight back from here to here. That's what we were supposed to do. And we didn't do it. And the reason I didn't do it was I wanted to be a little tricky. I wanted to give it up to be able to bring the queen to h4 with the rook on the open file, and just really put the pressure to white, and try to force them into mistakes. And that's actually exactly what we ended up doing, because after this move, or really I should say after the bishop to e3 move, it actually forced the mate. It was a forced mate after that. There's no stopping Black's checkmate, because Queen H4 is just, once you see it, it's just a killer move. There's no way to stop it. The only thing that they can do is to push down, and Black has two moves here. In this position, Black can win a couple of ways. They can take, forcing this, and then forcing this. They can also force the mate here, and they can also force the mate the way that we did, and that was with the simple g3. And the reason why is because even if they played this move, we still come up with mate. Even if they come down, it's still a mate regardless. I mean, we don't even have to do that. We can just straight from here, we can go straight up and check mate, because there's no way to stop it. So I mean, there's so many different ways that we can deliver it here, and so that's why I said, that. Why won't you delete? I don't want these moves here. Okay, well,
let's just clear it. But so once we got into this position, I mean, you can already see how bad it is. And so, to be honest, I didn't see that he had left this hanging and that it was a mate right then and there, because I was already envisioning the pawn moving up and just mating with the queen, rook, and pawn, and not really giving any cares about the bishop that he can take. But yeah, so that one was a really fun game. It was me just playing in a line that, even though it's a different opening, it's one that you can look at and see that you can still, if you understand positions, you might be able to get something that you want out of it and just force them into something bad. But if they know what they're doing, then it's probably going to be a little bit bad for you. But until tomorrow, you guys have a great night and enjoy your holiday weekend. Take care, guys.